Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Stallenberg. I'm an instructional technology coach. I am here to help you with your G Suite apps. I will be helping you through some of the apps to utilize for you as a teacher, but also to engage your students through better learning outcomes. Welcome to Your Brain on Google. Hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Your Brain on Google. Today, I wanted to show you a little bit about Google Docs. Many of you are probably already using Google Docs or kind of know that it's a word processing app similar to Word. Some of you have been using Word already, and maybe some of you are already using Google Docs. So what I wanted to show you with today is all of the tools and things that you can use in Google Docs to really engage your students. Google Docs allows you to collaborate in real time with multiple users, which makes it such a powerful tool. The collaboration features in Google Docs are shareable, so that means that when you share them, you can share them with full collaboration rights so that your whole group can edit at the same time. It's just mind-boggling to think that you can be working with everybody else at the same time in the same document and see everybody else's changes that they're making instantaneously. All they need is an internet connection. So they could be collaborating with you in all kinds of places around the world at the same time. So that's really the powerful piece of Google that allows your students and you to collaborate together. But you can't just collaborate. So what I mean by collaborating is giving everybody editing rights, everybody's making changes. But let's say that you didn't want to give that much out. You didn't want to give that much collaboration. Well, you could share with editing rights, or you could share with only commenting rights, or you could share with view only access. So in that case, if you were sharing with comments, that means somebody could look at my draft and comment and give me ideas of how I could improve it. That could be a great first step with your students without giving them full collaboration, and you're trying to teach them how to be nice to each other and kind in their comments. You could say, in this one, we're just going to have a comment. You're going to put 2 comments on somebody else's paper so that you can kind of step into that world of collaboration and teach them what is appropriate and what is not. You could give them points for the comments that they make on somebody else's paper, for example. The other thing you could do is view only. So in that case, in your Google Classroom, for example, you could attach a document that is view only. So in other words, like a copy of something, instead of running to the copier to make copies, physical copies, you can give them a copy that is digital. So that would save you on paper and ink and other resources like that to save you and others money. So those are just a couple of quick things that you can do with Google Docs, but there is so much more. So I wanted to go into a Google Doc and show you around Google Docs to maybe some resources and tools that you didn't even know was in there. So there's 3 ways to get to Google Docs. One of them is to go into the waffle over here. I'm logged into my Google G Suite already, and I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on Docs. That's one way to get to Google Docs. Another way is, if I was logging into my G Suite, I could go to Drive, and in Drive, I can go to Google Docs that way. So going to the plus over here, right here, the first thing that opens up under that plus is File Upload and Folder Upload. Let's say, as I mentioned before, some of you are using Word. Well, you can do a file upload right here. You can upload those Word files and then open them with Google Docs. So that's another powerful feature, so that you can take those Word documents and still utilize maybe some work that you did in the past as you are transitioning over to G Suite. Down here under the plus, you'll see that Google Docs came up. So this is the second way to get to Google Docs. I just wanted to show you that you could do a do blank document, but there's also so many powerful templates that you could use with your students. So probably a lot of times you've just been clicking on opening a new document, but there's so many powerful apps that I wanted to show you that you could be using with your students right now. There are essay templates and research paper templates that you could be using with your students. There are reports in the MLA format or the APA format. You could be using notes. Of course, there's lesson plans for teachers, but there's letters, all kinds of business letters you could be using with your students. You could be teaching them how to fill out their first resume or their first job application. There's so many things here that you could be using with your students to really broaden their horizons for that real world experience. So I really encourage you to check out some of the templates to use with your students. Over here, the third way to get to Google Docs is just to type in docs.google.com. That's another quick way to get there. For this tutorial, I was going to open just a blank document just to really highlight some of the menus and tools that are available in Google Docs. So for right now, I'm going to turn off my camera so that you can see the full screen. There you go. You'll see at the top, there's this menu. Some students might be raising their hand, or you might even be raising your hand and saying, well, I don't see the menu, because you can hide the menu. It's right here, this little caret right here. It says hide the menus. As soon as I hover over it, I can click there. The menu's gone. So if you have somebody that it allows more workspace here for you to see it, but if you have somebody that says, I don't see what you're talking about, you might click on this little caret and open or close the menu right from there. Under the file, the very first menu here, the file menu, you can share right there. Just like I was talking to you earlier that you can share with editing, comments, or view only rights. File share is right there. It's also over here, this blue button. Default is that it comes up with private only to me, private only to the owner of the creator of the document. You could either share from here or share from here. Okay. I also wanted to show you under the file menu, you could do a new document here from a template, or you could add a spreadsheet, presentation, or form or drawing. You could open another document. You could make a copy. So let's say you had a one that you wanted to make a template. You could just make a copy so that you could uh, make an adjustment or make a new one. You can download it. Look at all these file types that you can download as. You can download this Google Doc as a Word document. So just the same way where I was showing you where you can file upload, well, you can download it too. You can download it into these other formats right from the file menu. You can make it available offline. So those of you who are thinking that, well, Google is fine if you're online, well, you can make this available offline as well, so that if you're going to be offline for a while, you can still make your edits. You can rename it right here. You can publish it to the web right here. You can change the language of it. You can do your page setup. So there's a lot of things just in this very first menu that you might not have known existed. Under the edit menu, there are all of the normal things that you would see in a publishing word processing document, the paste and things like that. There's the view, your print layout, the mode. If you want to be in editing mode where you're editing your document, what is so great about Google Docs is you can also turn on these suggestions. So you can get suggestions for edits, like if you wanted to turn on something that is going to help you with wording and things like that, it's going to help you. You can also do the viewing so that you can look at it exactly how it's going to look before you print. There's an equation toolbar that some of you might not have known existed. Show equation toolbar. I thought that was so great. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see that it looks like this and allows you to write those mathematical equations and formulas that you may have been trying to figure out how to do in other applications. Well, right in Google Docs. There it is. I wanted to show you another menu, the Insert menu. There's a lot of things in Insert that's also going to help those of you who are looking for that equation editor under the View menu. In the Insert menu, there's this Drawings. Google Drawings came out about a year ago, and what's great about Drawings is that you can create all those great shapes that you've been trying to figure out how you could do in a Google Doc or some kind of a document with your kids. So I'm going to do New just to show you how it works. This is such a great tool because you can be creating those great mathematical drawings right here, and you could even insert an image of, like, let's say a graph, and have them draw on top of it. So I'm just going to show you a simple shape here. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to have a text box to put some mathematical dimensions in here. And then I can draw another one on this side. And I'm going to put in. Then I'm going to save and close and watch what happens to my drawing that I just made. It goes right into my Google Doc. I could then add a mathematical question right here. So of course that's just a simple problem, but I think you get the idea of what the possibilities are of what you could do with using your Google Drawings. It's just limitless of what you could do. You could be creating your own graphic organizers, for example. You could be doing your mathematical equations and figures and drawings, and you could go back to that View menu and add in your equations. So there's a lot you could do, and there's a lot that you could have your students do with that. I wanted to show you also the tools and the formatting, just to show you how many more things you can do. So the formatting is just your basic paragraph styles and alignment and columns and all kinds of things like that that you would normally be trying to do. But the tools bar is where you can do a lot. So there's spelling and grammar, that's right here. Word count, how many words are in your document. Review your suggested edits. You can compare documents. The Explore tool, voice typing, and translate your document, I think, are some of the most powerful tools in Google Docs. So I just want to show you, let's say that I was going to teach some researching about the mathematical concept of area. And I can go right here to Tools and click this Explore button, or I can go down here and click the Explore button. So there's two ways to get to it. Right here, I can search. It already came up with this idea of area. It's noticing that I have area in a couple places, and it already gave me research that is related to what I'm typing about. So in this case, I could say, let's say I want to use this one. I can insert that text, and I can see it. It looks like it's a book. I could say, well, maybe that's not the best one that I wanted. Let's see what else I have. Maybe I was looking for more area problems. And let's see, how about this one. See how it changed to quotation marks? I can say that I'm using this and I want to show where I got my document. I can click on this. It just cited it as a footnote. So anything I use from that website, it just automatically created my footnote right here. I'm just going to Control C and Control V to put it in there as the text that I was selecting. There it is. That's where I got my information. So that's just kind of a nice, quick little thing that I wanted to show you, that you can cite these things as footnotes. I can also find images. And look right there, I'm already seeing lots of word problems and examples and figurines that I can put right into my document if I wanted to. You can see that it's even coming up with a video right here that I can click on. I can also find stuff that's already in my drive. I don't think I have any area problems. Oh, it looks like I have maybe something, but I don't think it looks very much like area. So you can look in your drive, images on the web, or websites that as you're teaching, you could see if you are teaching research, how helpful this would be. You see the little snowman over here? You can change if you want it to be MLA citation, APA citation, or Chicago citation. I'm using MLA right here, and you saw the template earlier. That was the MLA format, so that would match. If I was teaching APA format template, then I could be having them switch their citation there. So great tools. The other thing that I wanted to show you was that, yes, you can do voice typing. You'd be clicking that, and it also says you could do Control-Shift-S. So you could talk, and it's going to type it. You can also, there's some accessibility settings for somebody who might be a special needs student, but this activity dashboard, I was looking at that today, and I thought, wow, it shows me who I shared it with. Right now, I haven't shared this with anybody, but as soon as I do, I can see the viewer trend. I can see who's commenting on my document, who's sharing my document, who I shared it with, and the privacy settings that I have set to. Do I have it set to view? Do I have it set to share? And right there on the activity dashboard, it's going to tell you. One of the tools that I use a lot is the translate document. It's right here under tools. And I can choose any language, and look how many there are. I can translate that with just a click of the button. You'll see that my document is still here. It's making a new version of the document. So with just a click of the button, it took my copy and it translated it. So now I have two documents, the one that I was typing and the one that's now translated, with just a click of the button. So I really think that that is great. I wanted to show you also, because I haven't shown you enough, right, is that you can link in here. So if I wanted to find this fabulous video, for example, I could hyperlink it right into this document. So I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to type up area and perimeter video. And I'm not even going to YouTube. I'm just typing it in my Google search and seeing what comes up. Oh, look, a YouTube video actually came up just that easy and that way. So I wanted to take this video. You can see that it has this video, the link up here. I can click on this. And I'm just going to Control C for copy. I'll go back to my document. And I'm going to edit, sorry, insert a link. There it is. It says I can paste the link here. So I'm going to Control V, so paste it, and I can give it a title. Now I'm going to click apply, and you'll see that now it's there in the middle of my document. All I would have to do then is take this document, click this link or click this word, and it's going to open that video. There it is. So that is a quick and easy way to add links right into your document that are clickable for whoever you've shared it with. The other thing you could do is actually even link to other documents just by that inserting that link that was inserting link. Another place that you can go to the inserting of the link is, I'm just going to close this so you can see it, is right there. That does the same thing. Now, sometimes you'll get kids that are so excited by this that they start writing their paper and all they're doing is copying and pasting and copying, pasting and copying and pasting. I'm sure that you have seen that if you are just getting started with teaching research papers. It's really hard to teach kids how to paraphrase. So if you see too much of that and the student turned in their work, you'll see that I have this little plus showing up as I'm just moving it around. And there's a plus here too. Okay, and there's even one here. It doesn't look like the plus, but it's the same thing. I can add a comment. So let's say a student turned in their work to me that was signed in their classroom, and they turned in this beautiful paper, but it's all copy and paste. I can send it back to them, but first I can add a comment. So I can tell them I want them to take this link, and I can highlight it just to show them. I want you to take this part, and I want you to rewrite this so that you paraphrase, and I can add this comment to them. So my students, then I can send them this link right here. They're working on this paper. I can send it back to them so that they know what they need to do, exactly what they need to do. And they have this comment. They know what they need to do so that they can fix their paper and resubmit it for a better grade. The other thing I wanted to show you was right here is that editing mode. I showed it to you a little earlier. I can say I want to edit the document directly, but I can also turn on this suggestion. The suggestions are going to help me write a better paper. This up here was another place where you can comment, but you can also keep track of all the comments that you add, and you can reply again if you got it back and it still wasn't fixed. You could resolve it or reply again. You could add notifications to this so that you get all notifications, only yours or none, depending on how you want to manage your comments, and you can add more comments right there. This is for editors who can view history for this file. If you're sharing it with collaborators, you can see what they're adding, and so that you can see the history and the changes that are being made in that real time. There are so many great things that you can do with Google Docs, and I'm really hoping that you're going to find this video useful and that you are going to love working with Google Docs. Again, this is your brain on Google, and I would love to hear back from you how you are using Google Docs with your students. Thank you so much.